I am not taking personal readings at this time. Please do not get scammed by people posing as me in the comments section. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to my channel, Roseology. So today's reading is focused on your inner child. So this is a conversation with your inner child, or a conversation between your inner child and your unconscious shadow. So we're going to be hearing from your inner child today as far as what they want to illuminate you to when it comes to your unconscious self or your shadow self. There may be some sort of unconscious sort of shadow experiences that a lot of the collective is going through right now, where it's very moon card type energy. There's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of confusion. There could be a feeling of like being directionless right now, not really knowing what's going to happen or what exactly is going on. And I felt as though it would be really, really powerful for us to connect to the inner child. We're going to be looking into the inner child today. Another reason why I knew I had to do an inner child themed reading was because a creator of this deck that you guys are seeing here, which is called the Power to Heal. It's an inner child healing oracle deck. The creators of this deck got in touch with me. I fell in love with the images and was like, I would love to feature it on the channel as one of the readings. And so yes, this is the card deck here. I'm going to leave all the information down below where you guys can get in touch with the creators or get your hands on this oracle deck yourself. And it's so cool because like this oracle deck, it comes with this activity / sort of like coloring book here, so you can actually go through, read the different definitions of the cards themselves. And what's also cool too is that you can go in and just actually color the images yourself. So it's cool how you can sort of re-illustrate the cards for yourselves, color them in as they speak to you. So it's like a real sort of like a healing journey that this oracle deck can take you on in terms of connecting to that inner child, healing messages from your inner child. It's a very powerful deck. I love the images. I'm just going to show you guys a few of these images before we get to the disclaimers and the meditation and all of that. But as you guys can see, it's just a beautiful, gorgeous deck. The artwork is so powerful. Thank you guys so very much, Keira and Chanda, for getting in touch with me for these oracle cards here. But you guys, yeah, let's just get to the disclaimers and the meditation so we can jump straight into this reading, because there was some very heavy messages that came through. I do want to warn you guys, there were a lot of heavy messages that came through. So yeah, you may be drawn to more than one pile today. But anyways, let's just get to the disclaimers and the meditation. So obviously this is a general reading, meaning that it will resonate with who it is meant to resonate with. Tarot does not control or dictate your life. If you hear something that you do not like and think that you are just doomed to that reality, then you are not using my readings correctly. I conduct these readings for confirmation and not answers. So if you hear something for the first time, please do not take that message without receiving further confirmation from your own higher self and spiritual team. Realize that at the end of the day, your free will and what you do with it will determine your life outcome and reality, not a pick a card reading on YouTube. So be responsible and accountable for your own actions, and use this simply as a guide to help decipher the messages that your spiritual team has been trying to send you all along. So in other words, these messages should feel like something you have heard before. For those of you that want to participate in the meditation, this is a general reading again for the collective. So in order for this reading to resonate with you, you have to be synced into the energy of this reading. To help you do that and to help you select a pile with your third eye and not your physical ones, I'm going to be offering a 60-second meditation. Halfway into it, I will be placing crystals for my clairvoyants that like to pick piles with objects on them. And after the clairvoyant pile selection, there will be a clairaudient selection where I play a different tone for each pile, and you can select a pile based off of which tone resonates with you the most. If you're drawn to another pile, that's because there is another message for you in that pile. So if you're ready, get into a relaxed position, become aware of your entire body starting with your feet, and work that awareness up in sections from the feet to the head. Then take a deep breath in through your nose for around 5 seconds, hold that breath for 3 seconds, and then exhale for 6 to 7 seconds. Then ask your guides, spirit ancestors, the universe, or all of them to connect you to your higher self so you can sit and commune with your inner child and hear what they have to say about illuminating your unconscious or shadow spaces. So this is pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, and pile number 4. On pile 1 is rainbow fluorite. On pile 2 is green opal. On pile 3, I forget the name of this crystal, but this is what we have on pile 3. And on pile 4 is a stone called apatite. All right, pile 1, welcome to your reading. So we are going to be starting off with your tarot cards here, just to get a message from your inner child, because what I've been picking up lately is just a lot of different unconscious sort of like functions that are a lot of our environment is working to expose. We're manifesting it, whether we know it like or not, like whether it's directly or indirectly. And I also wanted to incorporate the spirit of the inner child, like our truest essence, because I feel like when you want to illuminate something, that's the perfect time to consult the truth, right? So and the inner child is honestly one of the most truest, purest forms of a human being's incarnation. So yeah, that, and of course wanting to get into this deck over here, this Power to Heal Inner Child deck. But anyways, let's just get started seeing what it is that your tarot cards are. I'm just going to allow your inner child to come through, talk about whatever they want to talk about in terms of your unconscious, your shadow, things like that. So let's just get started. The very first card that we have for you is the Six of Swords in reverse. And we have the Four of Cups, also in reverse. And then the Page of Cups, which was also in reverse. Pile 1 with the Six of Swords in reverse, I'm picking up you feeling trapped in the past. Your inner child is reflecting on feeling trapped, suffocated, controlled, very conditional. You could feel as though your inner child is stuck or held hostage in the past. Also, there's this feeling like you couldn't get away from something or someone with the Six of Swords in reverse right here. This card is also your inner child reflecting on someone's love, affection, support, or maybe like pride being too far away, like you could never get it or earn it no matter what you did, like someone withheld these things from you, maybe to like control you in a way. So kind of like this idea of, if I don't praise you, then you are going to keep putting in the effort to make good grades. Just an example. But someone's attempts to make you like tough or to prepare you for the world, you may look back on it now and just find it abusive or toxic or very problematic with all of these cards in reverse here. Your inner child with the Four of Cups and the Page of Cups right here in reverse is also talking about rejection. For some of you, this was experienced over and over and over again. It led to this idea of not being good enough, or you may assume that you were not good enough before even trying or attempting to do something, like anticipating the word no or being rejected before you even make the first step. Some of you didn't have anyone in your family that you could talk to or relate with either, like not one sibling or cousin or aunt or uncle or grandparent. It's like there was no one around you that you could relate to, or that maybe you felt comfortable or familiar with. Your sanctuary was wherever you were alone. So it could have been like your room or a bathroom or a small space that you would use to get away and to get some sort of solitude. And so it's like you learned about escapism at a very young age. Pile 1 with the Six of Swords in reverse right here, Four of Cups in reverse, Page of Cups as well. Page of Cups is total Pisces energy to me. So it's just this idea of trying to escape your reality by maybe dreaming, fantasizing, planning, just thinking of the future in this almost obsessive way where it's just like, man, when I'm this age, I'm out of here. I'm never going to look back either. For some of my Pile 1s in your childhood, you may have spent a lot of your childhood imagining the day that you could finally leave the house or leave your family or get out of a particular environment. Take care of yourself, get on your own 2 feet, and leave something behind. You may have just planned for a long time to leave something behind. You may have been told as well that you were too sensitive growing up, or you may remember being mocked for being emotional. So this communicated to you that being soft is a no-go with your Four of Cups, Page of Cups in reverse right here. This idea, I have to be strong or tough. And so it's like you developed an idea of what that looked like, but you modeled a version of strength from people around you that were severely broken and damaged. And this is why you have felt broken for some time, even though you thought remodeling yourself in a particular way would make you tougher, because your inner child is saying with your shadow, there's a lot of repressed emotions and they're stored there because you still don't think there is a safe space for you to express. And it's not even that, it's more like your idea of expressing in general is avoided at all costs. So this idea of strength is more about repressing. The more I subdue my emotions, the more I conquer the parts of me that feel weak. So let's say there was someone from your childhood, like let's just say it was an uncle, for instance, that you thought was very strong. They never complained. They never showed their emotions. They never seemed to be afraid of anything or to fear anything. So you redesigned your behavior, hoping that it would change your nature. The thing is, like I said earlier, whomever you constructed yourself to become, let's say that, just going back to that example, there was an uncle that just seemed like the epitome of strength. And so you thought, if I'm more like them, I'll also become strong. The thing is, though, is that this uncle was severely broken themselves. They were just trying to make it themselves. The same position that you may find yourself in right now is where that person has been for a very long time. Someone here in this pile realized that when you sought this person for advice, like let's just say it was that strong looking uncle, when you went to them for some sort of advice, you realize like, wow, you're not who I thought you were. I really kind of put you on this pedestal, and it's kind of like your idea of them humbled in a way. Because when you went to them for some sort of advice, maybe they didn't say what you expected them to, or they didn't have the answers, or something about them was extremely unaware and unconscious, and it made you realize your definition of strength has been off this entire time. It's like you went somewhere with the Six of Swords, kind of seeking like advice from someone or something that you thought was strong, and basically it's like you return with the Six of Swords in reverse, empty-handed. And it's like, wait, hold on. So you don't know you don't know how to do this either? It's like this rejection with the Six of Swords in reverse, Four of Cups in reverse. I feel like even too, there's like this like something small turning big. There could have been some sort of like running joke in your childhood that maybe to your parents or your siblings or whoever used to joke about this, like to them it was really small, but to you was really big. It had a really big impact as to the type of person you developed into. For some of you, you may feel cheated or lied to or led astray because you really try to model yourself behind an idea of strength. You really believed whoever told you that you can't be this sensitive in the world, it'll kill you. You've got to get thicker skin. You've got to be tougher than this. You've got to be stronger than that. You really listened to that advice. Someone else's fears created your shadow, pile one. Someone else's resistance to vulnerability and emotion created your shadow. And listen, this isn't about shifting blame anywhere with this Page of Cups in reverse right here. On the contrary, this is about simply realizing you are allowed to abandon this way of surviving. You are allowed to reject this way of operating. You're allowed to reject the things and the people that have rejected you. And you're allowed to say that doesn't work for me. So it's more so separating from some sort of definition or image is how you reconnect to the soul. Not that we can ever be disconnected from our own soul, but we can lose touch with it, especially when it's suppressed. And I'm going to say something, so only take this if you've been wondering or feeling this way. But I'm picking up for someone here. This was a path for you to take in order for you to see yourself with your own eyes. Sometimes we have to quote unquote get lost to find ourselves. And there is this message for someone here: being led astray was a part of the journey or experience. Being carried to this place, Six of Swords in reverse, you had to go somewhere and then hit that U-turn in order to come back to yourself. Being carried to a place where this idea or version of strength, it fails so hard that you are forced to wonder, is this actual strength? Is this for me? Is this what I should be doing? Is this how I want to get through life? Is this who I want to be? Is this who I am? Is this what I resonate with? You wouldn't have to question it if it seemed like it was still working, pile one, right? So my pile ones, you are likely here on this reading because you have come across your inner child again and you have a difficult time recognizing them. You have a very difficult time either relating or recognizing your own inner child. And this is you asking, how do I make it all over again? How do I kind of start over? How do I redefine? Wondering what strength is, or who do I have to be in order to survive, in order to make it. Same way as a child or in your past when people told you that you were too sensitive. Some of you had to come to this place where you were wondering what's going on, because now people are complaining about me being too cold or too detached or too unavailable. And this has caused some sort of great issue or great suffering for some of my pile ones as well, because it has inhibited your ability to connect, to trust, to experience closeness with another person. It's like you keep adapting or changing and still don't reach the destination, like the Six of Swords in reverse, how I spoke about it earlier. Like no matter what you did, someone withheld support, affection, love, or words of encouragement from you. And you thought being tougher would earn it, and it didn't. It feels like you can't catch up to life, like you can't catch up to something, like you keep chasing something, but never actually reaching it. There's this feeling of reaching for something and it's right there, but you can't grab hold of it. Let's get some advice cards. Some of you as well, my pile ones, are you going through a breakup right now and you're questioning or doubting the breakup? some of you, the very, very, very specific message coming through. Some of you were taught or told to stay in a marriage or stay in a relationship, or maybe even like stay at a job. Stick with your commitment. Whatever you commit to, stick with it, even if it's toxic, even if it's bad for you, even if it's unhealthy. And so you guys thought that, like, wow, being strong would be me staying in this marriage or staying in this, you know, relationship, staying in a part of some sort of union. The card that flipped over here, New Moon in Aries, go for it. Go for it. Whatever it is that you're assuming is the wrong answer, or whatever it is that, like, you're assuming may be weak. I don't know why there's this idea of strength versus weakness that keeps coming up in your reading here, but it's like New Moon in Cancer, relax. Yeah. Oh, sorry. That was probably really loud. Yeah. New Moon in Cancer, relax. New Moon in Cancer, this is like a new connection. It's like a reconnection to yourself, to your soul, to your authenticity, but something feels wrong because it's so different and it's so unfamiliar. So some of you may have been told, like, oh, you know, like, we don't get divorces. This is that new generation that does that. Just an example, right? And for you, it's like you're suffering in a marriage, you know, and you're doing it because it's how you were raised or how you were taught. And you're realizing, just going back to that example a little bit, it's like you go to that person that, like a grandparent that, you know, they've been married the last 70 years. And you ask them about whatever's going on with you, and they tell you something that really makes you sit back and think to yourself, like, yo, I really need to rethink if this is the type of advice I should be listening to. There's some sort of advice that you guys, like, you really took it to heart. Let's see, we have here the feminine. A woman will play a role. Your feminine side, feminine energy. So this could be a woman, a mother figure, a maternal figure. There could be a woman in you guys' life that you get advice from, or that you're realizing you got the wrong advice from. This could have been some sort of example modeled by some feminine figure, mother figure, maternal figure that your inner child is really looking at, or that your inner child is really kind of I don't want to use the word blaming, but it's definitely saying, like, oh, that came from here. That came from that person. We're in this situation. And then look, we've got the masculine underneath the deck. So this just could have been your parents in general. There could be some sort of, okay, so this might be that specific message that was coming through about, like, it was a specific message, so it might only be for a couple of you in this pile. But somebody here may be doubting leaving a relationship or leaving some sort of a commitment. So it could be a job. It could be getting out of a mortgage. Okay, like it's like you're doubting getting out of some sort of commitment that you're supposed to just stay there and deal with it, even though you're so unhappy, even though everything in your body is rejecting this. Okay, so let's say it's a marriage. Everything in your body emotionally, you are rejecting the way that you are being treated or the way that you feel in this marriage. If it's your job, then it's like mentally you cannot connect to this job because you don't want to be there. And it's like you're trying to fight your own nature, which keeps rejecting this. Your own body is trying to reject something, and you keep sitting there dealing with it because you think you're supposed to. The masculine was underneath the deck. A man will play a role. Your masculine side, masculine energy. So there could even be a future masculine or feminine that comes into your life and kind of makes you realize, like, it's okay to take your own advice. Pile 1, this is like your inner child saying it's okay to take your own advice. Let's get some other inner child messages for you guys. Really, this is really getting very balanced with yourself. For some of you, this could just simply be about getting very balanced with yourself, with this masculine and this feminine right here. And just understanding that you have other needs that are not being met. For some period of time, you guys were ignoring a part of yourself, neglecting a part of yourself. Because if you would have acknowledged it, then something wouldn't have worked. Oh my God, wait, this is a message that came up in Patreon too. The General Celtic Cross spread I just did. Was it that reading? I cannot remember for sure. Damn it. I'm pretty sure it was that reading, but a message very similar to that came up that said, like, if someone would have acknowledged where their needs weren't being met, they would have left that job or relationship or marriage or a situation a long time ago. It wouldn't have dragged out for as long as it did. There's this idea here that longevity means success, and it doesn't. Okay, hold on, because this almost fell. We have here, say yes, now's the time to open up and receive. It may be somewhat unnerving, but if we are not open to the many good things in life, they may pass us by. Practice saying yes to what you know will stretch you, things you might be a little unsure of. There is abundance all around us. Sometimes we just need to make space for it to appear. Let me get one more for you. So say yes. This kind of sounds like this new moon and Aries card right here. Go for it. Okay, the other card that we have for you. It's okay to be misunderstood. You guys see that? It says we all experience life through our personal lens of fears, desires, and pains, which can lead to miscommunication and misunderstandings. If you are currently in this situation, remember that being misunderstood is not a reflection of your worth, but a result of being human. You are complete regardless of how others perceive you. So this is kind of like what I got earlier. With you guys trying to model yourself behind someone else. You're trying to model yourself or model a part of your life behind someone else, and they didn't have the answers either, and they were miserable too. Yeah, this is like that example of like going and speaking to that grandparent that's been married for 70 years and that encouraged you to stay in your marriage, and then you ask them about you know, happiness, and if they're happy in their own relationship, and they're like, what do you mean happiness? Like, that's not the point. It's like they can't even answer that question, or they just straight up tell you like, no, I'm not happy. I've never been happy, but you know, still here. And it's like something about that is just, it's okay to be misunderstood. It's okay if they don't understand why you couldn't stay at that marriage, or you couldn't stay at that job, or you couldn't stay where you were at. It's okay for you to reject something that is, it's rejecting you because it's not for you. Is trying to force something. Underneath the deck, we have here Run Wild. It's time to give in to the wild, childlike nature that resides in all of us. Cultivate a spirit of play and allow yourself to get messy. Go barefoot in the mud, be outside in the rain, finger paint, and just be unproductive. Find pleasure in letting go of the notion that you have outgrown your untamed nature, allowing your inner child to run wild. Yeah. This is, let me get a couple of, let me just get a couple of, animal spirit cards here as well. Okay, what was this? We have here crocodile. So watch out for images of the crocodile. Underneath the deck, we have the crow in reverse here. So just watch out for images of the crocodile as well as the crow. That may be something that you guys are kind of seeing right now. Okay, and the crocodile message here says, resting, submerging, collecting energy, cooling off. The crocodile reminds us to step back from the external world and to turn inward. Yeah, exactly. Now is not the time for decisions, action, or discussion. The crocodile's mantra is wait. This doesn't mean lying around hoping life's challenges will disappear. The crocodile is much smarter than that. It means intentionally withdrawing, gathering our awareness, observing, and building energy. Fill up the vital reserves so your next move comes from a place of wisdom and power. So this is about you guys as well, kind of sitting back, and that may be why all of your tarot cards are in reverse, to say in a way that you're sort of sitting back and just gathering information. You're sort of sitting back and observing, analyzing how you feel, how someone or something makes you feel. And sort of devising some sort of plan that you can move forward in the future. And it could be some sort of masculine or feminine that helps sort of come in and to assist you in making some sort of move in a completely different direction, because it's okay for you to be misunderstood. This is about you guys like hitting a U-turn, making a whole different move in a completely different direction. And it says, when in balance, the crocodile is wise, patient, a silent powerhouse. When out of balance, it feels stuck and it lashes out. To bring into balance is rest and the Makarasana pose, I believe. And then let's just get a couple of additional messages here from your inner child. Some healing messages from your inner child. Anything else that your inner child wants to say to you guys? Hold on, let me shuffle these. Okay, hold on. We have here, I forgive to release all not meant. I forgive to release all not meant for me. We also have, I focus on this present moment. Hold on, let me see if both of these are your cards. Okay, yeah, they are. Okay, so it says here, I focus on this present moment. And then we also have, I forgive to release all not meant for me. So this is about dropping baggage and dropping these different pieces of advice that other people gave you that wasn't meant for you, but you were carrying them or wearing them anyways. So this is about you guys kind of releasing that and then focusing on the present moment. This is what you guys are doing. You see how she's holding this magnifying glass right here? Like I was talking about with your cards, that may be why they also showed up in reverse, because you guys are kind of sitting back in this crocodile energy, kind of looking at and focusing on, okay, how does this make me feel? Let me really get in tune with myself. I did mention that when I was just looking at you guys' tarot cards. Some of you guys, some of my pile ones have come back into contact with your inner child and you can't recognize them. So what that is telling me is that you guys are almost at a loss in a sense when it comes to, well, what do I think is the best move, the best next move for me to make? And so this is you guys having to get present, having to focus on the present moment, having to get current, having to get present in the current moment, and actually looking and looking at how you feel, looking at your surroundings, looking at the different luggage pieces that you're carrying with you and saying, does this really belong to me? Underneath the deck here, we have, I am well balanced. And so see how this looks like the shadow and this side looks illuminated? There's a whole other half to you that you guys are getting to know. So let me read these two messages here out of the book. Hold on. So final messages from your inner child here to your shadow, or what it wants to say about your shadow is, it says here, I focus on this present moment. And this message here says, staying present in the moment allows you to explore the goodies waiting today. Tomorrow's treasures will be where they need to be at the right time. Take this time to discover you and what you really like. Dreams and passions find you. So this is also for you guys as well. You're not just reconnecting to your inner child to figure out how to solve something, how to solve some sort of problem. That's not the only reason. That may have been what sort of triggered or kind of like catalyzed this moment for you, where you could start looking into, what do I really need? What do I really want? But it's not just so you can figure out the solution to a problem, pile one. This is also so you can connect to your own dreams and passions right here. So you can connect to some sort of passion within you that may feel very dormant. It may feel very dead. You may not have felt like you have connected to things that you really want to do in a long time, if ever. And then let's read this last one out of the book here. And then I forgive to release all not for me, all not meant for me. Here it says, I forgive those who were hurt and hurt me. So this could have definitely been your parents for my pile ones here. It says, I forgive myself for things that were never mine to hold on to. Yeah, this is that baggage. I forgive for my freedom, my release, and my healing. This is how you guys get freedom from some sort of advice or some sort of conditioning that you may look at it now as like, it's got me stuck in this situation, or this is what led me to being in this situation here that's so unhealthy for me. It's so bad for me. It's not good for me. I'm not happy here. This is what's going to help free you from that, release you from that. And it's also going to help facilitate an environment for you where you can heal as well. It says, no one has power over me. When you take your power back, you release the mental and emotional hold on you. Take back what is yours and leave all the rest. Yeah, this is you guys doing that. Like I said, you guys may have, you may be coming across your inner child right now and not necessarily recognize them, but that is for a very specific reason. You've been so disconnected from that for a very specific reason, because if you would have been connected to you, something wouldn't have played out for as long as it did. And if you're on Patreon and you guys saw that Celtic cross spread, and you were also led to pile 1, then this is what you are doing right now. You are actually right now breaking free of this karmic experience, because it's quite karmic with all of these all your tarot cards in reverse. We have the new moon in Cancer. Okay, Cancer is ruled by the moon. Okay, moon is the mother. It's the roots, it's the source, it's where things come from. So the moon, for this reason, it also represents the subconscious and memory. The moon also rules the north and the south nodes. The north node rules fate or the future. South node rules karma or the past. And so something's about to shake up here for you, pile 1, especially with this crocodile card for you. This crocodile energy is something is about to shake up for you. This kind of feels almost like divine timing. Something, it's almost as though these cosmic energies or something is waiting for the right moment to just pop off and to completely liberate you from this karmic experience if it hasn't happened already. As we can see with this present moment card right here, her holding this magnifying glass and this crocodile, that crocodile energy really kind of waiting and watching something. This crocodile could also be symbolic of your unconscious and your subconscious. This past conditioning that you went through that's just sort of waiting for you to make that step in a completely different direction and say, you know what, I need to drop this old conditioning. I need to drop this baggage. I need to drop this advice because it's not for me. And the moment that you do that, it could feel as though your subconscious or unconscious is waiting to kind of snap at you like a crocodile and sort of pull you back into this old direction that you're trying to really get away from. With the 6 of Swords, 4 of Cups, Page of Cups coming out in reverse for you. This is like you trying to get away from some old place that you feel very tethered to. But the thing is that something is aligning in a way with beautiful timing here where you're going to be completely freed of this. Completely freed of it. And you're really going to be able to go for it. You're really going to be able to go for it. You're really going to be able to be liberated from this space, from this experience. And you're also going to be able to relax a lot more once you are finally separated enough from this place that you may feel tethered to, like a cord. So this could even be some sort of a karmic experience, a karmic relationship, even a karmic job or a career or a situation. This could be something that's been happening over and over and over again, a lot of back and forth. This could be that sort of idea. It's coming to an end if it has not already. And the thing that your inner child, it really wants to speak to you about your unconscious is making sure that once that crocodile comes through and it cuts that cord, it bites that cord and releases us, that we do not carry this baggage. Because that's the whole point. Some of you guys have already been released. Drop the baggage with it, especially with your 3 tarot cards being in reverse. Drop the 6 of Swords journey. Drop that memory of not being able to get away even though you were trying to get away. Drop that 4 of Cups in reverse. Drop that 4 of Cups feeling, which could be a grudge, it could be anger, it could be pent up emotion, it could be frustration, it could be anger that you have for someone because they led you astray with the wrong advice that didn't pertain to you, advice that you never should have taken. But the thing is that if this is someone that gave you some sort of advice, you listened, and it led you somewhere where you were very unhappy, a part of you forgiving them is going to help you release this baggage. And is going to help free you. And this is also something that the present moment being present can also grant you as well, pile 1. So pile 1, this is all that I'm seeing is in terms of your inner child, what they want to say to you about your shadow or just any messages that they wanted to convey to you recently. But thank you guys so very much for tuning in. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, amazing spirit for these messages. Hopefully you all come back to visit sometime soon. And until next time, please stay safe, healthy, blessed, and keep conquering the world. Bye, guys. All right, pile 2, welcome to your reading. So we're starting off with your tarot cards just to get some messages from your inner child. Whatever it is that your inner child wants to say, especially when it comes to just divulging some extra information about your shadow, your unconscious, anything that may be happening in your life right now that you're very confused or unsure about. There's a lot of moon card energy happening right now. Moon card can definitely represent the unknown, the subconscious, the unconscious, just sort of being in a space where we don't know how something's going to play out. And so I thought we would consult with the inner child today to receive some messages about that and some healing advice as well. So yeah, let's just get started with your cards. So the very first tarot card that we have for you, we've got Death in Reverse, Scorpio energy. Then we have the King of Pentacles for you, upright. Earth energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. And then we have, hold on. What? Hold on. We've got Death in reverse again. What? How the hell? Hold on, you guys. 1 second. Okay, pile 2. So I had to go check because I was like, yeah, these 2 death cards fucked me up for a second. So I had to go check. I do have 2. This deck right here, I accidentally bought twice, like a minute ago. And I must have been shuffling from both of those decks at the same time at some point, and then both death cards got, yeah. Somehow this extra death card ended up in this deck over here. So it's just wild to me that even with the chances of this happening, it still happened in your reading, and literally the death card came out twice and in the exact same position in reverse. I would have never known that I was accidentally shuffling. Like there's, you know, cards from this other exact deck, like kind of in this one. I would have never known that if it wouldn't have been for this reading. Like I use this deck all the time. Never knew that I had. This just lets me know for a fact your inner child is like death card in reverse twice. Like it is really highlighting a death card in reverse experience or moment. I'm just going to take your cards how they are intended, with death showing up for you twice and in the reverse both times. So I'm picking up very 2 distinct energies. So for some of you, this is you struggling with 2 separate realities, opinions, ideas, thoughts, emotions, feelings, perspectives, choices. This could be, for instance, some of you dealing with someone around you that are struggling to accept some sort of ending. They are resisting it. There could be somebody around you that is literally stuck in the past. Like they can't get out of, they can't adapt. You know, there could be somebody around you that's really struggling to adapt. Meanwhile, you are withholding or standing firm in some sort of direction or decision or the present current reality. You may have a lot of earth energy with the King of Pentacles here. Again, that's Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. You may also have a lot of Scorpio energy in your chart. That would be like the 8th house. Pluto may have a very prominent placement in your chart. Your natal Mars could conjunct Pluto. You may be a Pluto and Scorpio generation baby. And you'll know that if you're born between the years of, what is that? It's like, I think 82 or 83, 1982 or 1983 to around mid-90s, 1995. If you were born between those years, then you are definitely a Pluto and Scorpio generation baby, which is a very big deal because Pluto rules Scorpio. The season of Scorpio could have been very significant for you as well. In the season of Scorpio, and tropical timing anyways, it runs from the end of October and takes up majority of November. It runs until around November 21st, 22nd. Could have been a very significant time for you. Or any of the earth seasons or the earth months In tropical timing, that is from the end of April and majority of May, which is the season of Taurus. From the end of August and majority of September makes up the season of Virgo. And from the end of December and the majority of January makes up the season of Capricorn. So these months or times could be important for you as well. So some sort of major unwarranted change or transformation could have happened during those times. Someone has really struggled to let go though. Your inner child is talking about in your younger years, some of you could have lost a parent or maybe both parents. This could have been the loss of a sibling or close loved one when you were a child that you experienced. This could have been back-to-back loss for the death card to come out twice in the same position. For example, this could have been the loss of a loved one and then immediately moving right after that loss to like a different state or a different home or a different neighborhood or going to a different school or something like that. It was too much change at once for somebody with your energy is the King of Pentacles all day. That's what there's no question about it for me. And you don't have to be a Taurus, Virgo, or a Capricorn sun or have any prominent placements in those energies for this reading to apply to you. But I'm just picking up your energy, your frequency is directly in line with this King of Pentacles. You are a very stable, secure person, or that's what you aim to be. And for my pile twos, there was too much change at once. For some of you, this was back-to-back betrayal of your trust by close loved ones. And then I'm picking up a feeling of cruelty. So like for someone here, while you were dealing with some sort of loss or major change, maybe even a betrayal, it's like someone else saw what was happening and they took advantage of the fact that you were like down and vulnerable. This was very dark for some of you guys here. It was a dark chapter for you to get through. You really can't reconcile how someone could see you going through one situation and then cause another one. It's like this idea of someone taking their pound of flesh, picking at you while you were down like a vulture. Some sort of misfortune you may have gone through. It brought out another person's selfishness or darkness. Truth, honestly. It brought out their true integrity. The fact that it's like this person is a vulture. They were a parasite. It's like they didn't support you when you were down. Instead, they took what they could get from that situation as well. They took advantage of your disadvantages, of your misfortune. Ew. Ugh. I feel like I need a shower after seeing this energy. It's ugh. Anyways, your inner child is saying a sudden massive loss struck you in such a way in the past that you developed an obsession is the wrong word. Not obsession. It's like you develop some sort of like a very strong preference for stability. See, obsession is too strong a word and preference isn't strong enough. But there's a very strong fixation, there we go, with the King of Pentacles here on dominance. It manifested into a struggle with control and a sense of control over life, which none of us have because control is an illusion. Yes, we do co-create our reality, but as co-creators, that means we are collaborating with something else, some other force. And I know law of attraction, it really does hinge its success off of telling people that they're in complete control, but in reality, we're not. We're only in control as much as we are until we're not. You know, we can't change certain things. Some things are just simply outside of our control and there's nothing we can do about it. That's more of fate. And I get that control, it really does kind of come from a place of fear because we want to have a sense of control somewhere, a sense of security. Control is all about security. I want to feel secure. I want to feel safe. There's nothing wrong with that. But as incarnated entities here in the 3D realm, there's also this idea too that as much balance and order that we are a part of, like the cosmos, for instance, the sun, the moon, and earth are in perfect locations for there to be life on planet Earth. But at any point in time, a comet can right out of the sky And, you know, like, there's just things that happen that's outside of our control. We are not in control of everything, and that's fine, right? But it's also okay to want and focus on security and creating a safe environment. There's nothing wrong with that as well. But it's like, you know, we can't law of attraction our way out of everything. We can't manifest our way out of everything. And it doesn't mean that your abilities aren't working. It doesn't mean that you're not powerful. It doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean the universe hates you. There's just another force out there creating its own reality, and we don't understand it no matter how much we try to. And some of you are going through so much change right now with this death card to the right. And these are two separate experiences, but they're mirroring each other, which is why they both came out in the same exact position, and you are right here as the King of Pentacles in the middle. So there's some sort of massive transformation you're going through right now with this death card over here. And it's really crazy because it's almost identical to a loss or some sort of transformation you experienced in the past. And you may have coped with that in a way that scares you in the present. Some of you guys are a little scared of how you coped with something in the past. For example, this is someone looking back on how maybe they developed an unhealthy coping mechanism and being afraid of going through that again. Like last breakup I went through, oh my God, like I started going out and partying a lot or drinking a lot, just an example. And it's like, I don't want to go back to that place. I don't want to go back to that place of working myself to the bone because I'm trying to avoid this emotional pain that I'm feeling. So there's a strong need or preoccupation with restraint, authority, self-control. Your inner child has more of a message for you right now, pile 2, and it's don't be afraid. No, some of you didn't have the best coping skills in the past, and you weren't just wounded from this experience, but also from having to pull yourself out of this dark place over here. Sometimes pulling ourselves out of something this extreme, while it's a proud moment, it can also haunt us if we're not careful because we lived through the worst of it. Those experiences, they stay with us and they can imprint on us in very many ways, physically, emotionally, mentally. Even our DNA holds on to experiences like this. Pile 2, this is very serious trauma for some of you. I know we throw that word around a lot, especially on the internet. So I'm not saying that, you know, that's for everyone here, but you know if you've gone through a trauma or not. And it's very serious for some of you. Your inner child, pile 2, keeps trying to remind you that you've survived. You made it. You don't have to keep looking back and thinking, what if I wouldn't have made it? Or what if I was still back there? Or what if something happens in the future that puts me back there? Your inner child keeps saying because you lived through it, you could never go through it again. Your inner child is like showing me like a visual for this example wise, and it's like a street. So it's like, imagine driving down this road and it only goes in one direction. Once you drive 5 miles down it, that same stretch of road isn't just going to like reset. It's impossible. There's a part of your journey that you have already walked, which means you've already completed it, which means at the very least, you do not have to worry about being pulled back to that place. It cannot happen. Like you cannot go through your childhood again, right? You cannot live yesterday again. You know what I mean? Like, of course we can recreate or manifest experiences that we've already had. Of course we can, but we cannot rewind and then go through that very same exact experience again. At the very best, at the very most, or at the very least, all we can do is manifest some sort of similar experience. But then that would mean that there's something happening in the present that is sort of steering whatever experiences we do end up coming across in the present and in the future, which means that you have some semblance of authority and control as to what experiences you live. We can't control everything around us. The only thing we have 1,000,000% absolute total authority and control over is our own perception. That's it. Which is why law of attraction, the whole structure of it, it hinges on this one idea of perception, controlling perception, because that's all we can control. If the sun wanted to go out right the fuck now, we couldn't control it. But what we could control is if we see it as a good thing or a bad thing. You know, but that's it. That's all we really have. And because reality is very flexible, it's all operating under quantum mechanics, that means that the perception, it does steer a lot of what we perceive. So you cannot go through your childhood again. You won't go through your childhood again. You can't even live yesterday again. You know what I mean? You can't even live in the last hour again. It's gone. It's done. Even if we're recycling the same memories, yesterday will never happen again. That is set in stone. Just like this past experience is cemented in the past, this is a real fear of the past finding you again in the future as you're trying to move forward. So I feel like it's for many of my pile twos, it's like some sort of past experience catching up to you. So for a while, many of you guys' purpose was making it out of that dark place. And now that you are out, it's like it's hitting you now where you actually were and how dark or painful that place actually was. It's like you were in this emotional or spiritual adrenaline rush, just focused on making it through, which you have with this King of Pentacles right here. Some of you here have been diagnosed with PTSD, which is why even though you're out of some sort of experience, you made it to the other side. You can't tell it just yet. You put off your fears for a long time so you can make it through something. You made it, and now here they are. This Death card literally is boop. But it's not that it's something that's necessarily happening or will happen. It's for some of you, yeah, this could be that you're experiencing something from the past. It's something very similar to your past. But what I'm picking up as the reader anyways, okay, totally always, like I always say, listen to your intuition and your spiritual team first before me or anyone else. But what I'm picking up as the reader is this Death card in reverse. It's like it's more perception. It's like it carried over, and not because of an actual experience, but more because of perception. Perception called this Death in reverse experience in. Your inner child is saying this is why your surroundings, as safe as they are, don't feel safe. Or maybe as new as they are, they feel familiar, or they feel like the past, or they feel like something old. Oh, this is why I keep getting fixated, stuck type of energy. This is earth element fixed energy with the King of Pentacles right here. And Death is ruled by Scorpio, a fixed water sign. And the King of Pentacles is king of the earth element. Earth is quite solid, right? There's this motion that you keep performing spiritually that your inner child is showing me. Like imagine taking a hammer to a wall and you keep hitting it until you break through. The thing is though, is like your inner child is showing me the wall is already broken, but you keep hitting, swinging in the air at nothing because you just got so fixed on getting out, getting out, getting out, getting out. Now it's time to adjust to living, pile two. Now that you're out, what do you want to do? You'll need support, and that's okay, for sure. Issue is many of you had to do this alone, so you don't know how to ask for help. You don't know who could help. For those of you that have been betrayed or taken advantage of, you were put in a position where all you had to rely on was yourself, and you don't know how to relinquish that control or independence. You don't know how to not only depend on you. You don't know really how to extend that trust outside of yourself. And this isn't about giving up anything though, pile two. It's about shifting into more of a receptive mode than an active one. It's about bringing on or accepting support, opening back up in a way that made you vulnerable before, or it reminds you of how you were vulnerable before. But before will not happen again. That's very important. That's something that your inner child keeps saying. It's saying you're allowed to be vulnerable like before, and at the same time, before won't happen again. That's like the paradox there. Let's get some advice. Let's start getting advice. What else does your inner child want to say about pile twos? Hold on. Because it's flipped back over. And it's one card we have here. Last quarter moon in Aries, work through your feelings. And then we have last quarter moon in Capricorn, leave the past behind. Exactly. Like I said, it's a past situation. Leave the past behind. Work through your feelings. This is you guys working through the feelings that are still, they're still popping up. But these are like past feelings. It's like emotional debt. So it's like whatever you were just focused on getting through something, surviving something before, you didn't have time for the emotions. You pushed them to the side. And so it's like you accrued this emotional debt. Now that you're on the other side, now you're like paying off that emotional debt and you're feeling all of those like past feelings that you kept it to the side. Underneath the deck here we have full moon in Aquarius, be real. Full moon in Aquarius. Aquarius is all about getting down the other side of that mountain. Capricorn is about the really treacherous journey up to the summit, up to the top of that mountain. And then Aquarius follows Capricorn and it rules the bottom. It rules the descent, where it's like the hard part's over. Let's get some additional messages and advice from your inner child. Pile 2. Hold on. What was this? We have dignity, standing in your truth, loving yourself first, not compromising. I'm going to keep shuffling though. There's a few cards that flipped over. We have here wish come true, a desire attained after a long time, getting what you wish for, believing the impossible. So your inner child even wants to tell you as well about a wish coming true. And Aquarius energy, it does rule wishes granted, hopes fulfilled. Again, it's about the end of that. The hard part's over. Now we just get to sit back and reap what we've sown. The effort, all that effort that we put into with that Capricorn energy. Capricorn's all about the hard work. There's not a lot of rewards with Capricorn. It's just about the hard work. And then once you get there, then Aquarius comes through and rewards all the efforts that you made. And look at what's underneath the deck. Pile 2. Victorious, beating your competition and your enemies, overcoming obstacles, success, and power. Boom. What the? Come on. Pile 2. This is why your death card came out twice. That's never happened as long as I've been shuffling these cards. I've had these cards for months. I've been shuffling these cards for forever. Never once did 2 repeating cards come out to show me that like, oh, oops, I accidentally have like 2 of the same deck and like the cards are mixed up with each other. That did not happen until today. And I feel like this is going hand in hand with your reading, as in saying like, if you weren't seeing something from your past popping up again, if you weren't paying off this emotional debt now, you wouldn't realize that it's more of an illusion. There's victory and wishes coming true for you. You're not manifesting your past. You can't go through that again. It's done. Leave the past behind. Let me get some spirit animal energies for you. Additional messages from pile 2's inner child. We've got the wolf, crow in reverse underneath the deck again. You guys may have been drawn to pile 1. So I'm going to read wolf out of the book, but one second, I forgot to shuffle some of these inner child cards too. Some additional messages with wolf. Wolf in sheep's clothing, I'm thinking of with this wolf card right here. I just feel like my pile 2s, you guys were like bitten by something that you didn't know was a threat. Something seemed safe or trustworthy, and it's like you weren't actually safe. Something wasn't actually trustworthy, and it really, it's like now you're seeing threats everywhere. Even though you're supposed to feel safe, even though, because you're actually safe. You're out of some sort of situation and you still can't believe that you're out of it. You're still operating as though you're inside of it still. No, I'm going to read this out of the book for you, but the card that fell out, it says here, speak to yourself with kindness. The stories that we tell ourselves create the patterns which we live by. Exactly. It says each day our self-talk is either trapping us in old beliefs or empowering us to live a life of love and acceptance. Become aware of how you talk to yourself. Become aware of how you talk to yourself. Is it with a voice of love? If not, how can you speak to yourself in a way that empowers you? Oh crap, I didn't notice it turned off. Hopefully you guys saw the shuffle. But anyways, yeah, speak to yourself with kindness came out. And so it says, how can you speak to yourself in a way that empowers you? Yeah, that empowers you, that doesn't keep you in this state of fear. But at the same time, too, what I'm picking up from a lot of you guys, or with your pile anyways, is like, at the same time, like, you guys need to almost go through or pay off some of this emotional debt so you can start to, there's a lot of emotions clouding your reality. And these are old emotions that you weren't allowed to pay for or to deal with in the past because you had to get through something. Underneath the deck here, we have you are worthy. It is now time to practice speaking the words that you have always longed to hear to yourself. Find a mirror and get comfortable. Look deep into your eyes and proceed to give yourself what you wish others had given you, particularly as a child. It may feel awkward, but stick with it, as there is much healing in this practice. So this is even giving yourself what you needed to hear as a child. Realizing that you are worthy. A lot of you may not have experienced a lot of compassion and warmth from other people, whether it was in your childhood or some sort of past experiences with both of these death cards coming out here. This is where somebody, or it could have been a handful of experiences or a handful of people, made you think that the only thing that you were suited for was pain and suffering, instability, uncertainty, insecurity. Like you weren't worthy enough to feel safe and secure. You're still working through those emotions. For my pile twos, as you guys work through these emotions, feel these emotions, confront them, deal with them, it's going to clear up a lot of your reality. It's just that it's like you're getting a break to finally experience all of those emotions. It just keeps coming through. Let me read Wolf out of the book here. Hold on. Okay, and Wolf here says, guardian of family and tribe, activism and ritual. So for some of you guys, this was your family, this was your tribe, this was the people that you should have been able to trust that really let you down. Oh, I did pick that up when I was looking at your tarot cards. That it's like someone saw you in an unfortunate position and they took advantage of your misfortune. It was somebody that you guys trusted, you really weren't looking over your shoulder thinking that you had to look over your shoulder at them. And so it's like now you're seeing threats everywhere, you're seeing red flags everywhere, and it's really difficult to get out of that perspective. That's why I kept talking about perception with you. I was trying to figure that out. Because I'm not the biggest law of attraction type of person. I'm more so about kind of like personal alchemy, spiritual alchemy, like just really learning the self, getting to know the self. Because law of attraction is like, it's like your heart beating. You know, it's like somebody like telling you like, oh, I can teach you how to attract, is like someone approaching you and saying, oh, I can teach you how to make your heart beat. Like, and it's beating anyways, right? Law of attraction is the same thing. Like we're attracting 24/7, period. But the thing is here is that there's a lot at play when it comes to your perception pile too. And that's what you guys are really connecting to. You're really getting in alignment with like, it's like you're really starting to become aware of the fact that it's like, why am I still operating as though I'm still going through something that I know logically I'm not going through it? Okay, it says here, the wolf's mission is to uphold the well-being of longevity of the pack. Healthy wolf energy expresses itself through activism, mentorship, humanitarian efforts, or teaching, religious or political studies. The wolf gets into trouble when it assumes every member of the tribe must follow suit. This includes children walking in their parents' footsteps. Okay. So some of you could feel like you let your parents down, or your parents may have made you feel like you were a failure because you didn't walk in their footsteps in some way. Maybe you guys are down on yourself because you feel like you didn't walk in your parents' footsteps, or like they wouldn't be proud of you. But it says here, although it will surely be uncomfortable at first, practicing tolerance helps balance out agitated wolf energy. Contemplate the following: embrace all and exclude none. When in balance, reliable, democratic, fearless. When out of balance, judgmental and dominating. This is that King of Pentacles. Like I said, this is that preoccupation, being really fixated on dominance, how to control. Yeah, and it says here, to bring into balance, practice letting go. Leave the past behind. Let's get some final cards for you, pile two. Hold on, let me shuffle these. These are new. But let's get some final cards, some additional messages from your inner child. Anything else that your inner child may want to say to my pile twos? We have here, I achieve the goals that I set. It says dream here, grand opening. There's a grand opening here when it comes to your dreams, pile two. There's a grand opening. Like it says, wish come true, Aquarius energy, hopes being fulfilled, star energy for you guys. Like there's, once you guys get to a space where you feel as though maybe you've grieved something properly and you're done with it, once you say to yourself, I'm ready to leave the past behind, some sort of dreams are going to come alive. There's going to be some sort of opening up to your dreams and to a dream life. It's already available for you. You can't miss it. And it's not going to pass you by. That will not happen to you. But it's waiting for you. You see how she's cutting the ribbon right here? It's a grand opening. It's like a debut. It's like your dream life is trying to make a debut, or it wants to. Maybe this is you guys longing to finally live your dream life because you're like, I'm out of this relationship. I'm out of this job. I'm out of the situation. I'm out of this toxic family dynamic or whatever it may be. I'm out of this place and I'm still operating as though I'm in it. The moment that you decide to start operating in a different way, what's going to open up here, this grand opening is going to be your dream reality, your dream life, 10 of Cups all day. It's like the idyllic life that you've always wanted to live. Underneath the deck here we have, I flow with my soul. I'm going to read both of these out of the book. I flow with my soul, and then we have 3 incense here sort of burning. So some of you guys, you may be doing some sort of a ritual, some sort of alignment ritual, getting in alignment with your soul, getting more connected to your soul. Because some of you guys are realizing like I'm really, fear is my God at this point. Like I'm listening more to my fears than I am my desires or anything else. And you guys are really not wanting to do that. You're really working to move past that. So I achieve the goals I set here. Says some ways to continue reaching your goals. Says be focused and clear. Visualize your success ahead of time. Do your best. Don't give up. Stay positive when things go differently than planned. Build your strengths. It says you have set the intentions and you are doing the work to see your goals into fruition. You've worked so hard and it shows. Okay, so then pile 2, you guys are more than aware that you're still operating in some sort of old way, under an old system. And you guys are on this reading more than likely because you are more than ready to change it. You are more than ready to embrace this dream life. You're ready to drop these fears. You're ready to stop seeing the threat everywhere. You feel as though you have paid off your emotional debt, or that you have grieved enough, or that you have experienced leaving the past behind. Many of you are like, I've done that. I've already done that. Like I'm ready to completely shift into a new vibration and in a new direction here. And so so a lot of you guys have set intentions for your dream life. You've set intentions for something to come in, and guess what? Wishes come true. Wish come true right here, and victorious. It's coming in, pile 2. Then I flow with my soul here. Says the resistance created by going against your path can cause more twists and turns, ultimately extending the journey to self. Understand some things are out of your control. What did I literally say? What did I literally say when we were just looking at your tarot cards? Because I went on this whole spiel about law of attraction and some things just simply being out of our control. But at the same time, I understand as a human being why we want to have control. It literally says right here, understand some things are out of our control, but keep going with your flow, keeping your mind free of anger and worry, which does nothing but disrupt your peace. This is that death card in reverse coming out twice. It says, take the bumps and bruises as they come, remembering there is much more to you and your journey. This is that King of Pentacles right here in the center. This is you guys staying focused. Keep staying focused on what it is that you're doing, pile 2, because you got victory and wishes coming true right now. There's a grand opening to your dream life right now. You've been determined. You've been determined. You're worthy of these things. Keep speaking to yourself with kindness. Leave the past behind. Keep speaking your dreams and your potential into existence. Work through these feelings, whatever these past feelings are. If there's any sort of emotional debt or anything sort of lingering behind, work through those things. Allow yourself to work through those things. And at the same time, if you feel as though you still need to work through some of these older emotions, realize at the same time that they are not holding back or stopping this flow. The flow has already commenced. This dream life is already opening up for you. The wish has already been granted. It's already come true. You're already victorious. It's just a matter of opening yourself up to that and realizing that nothing can stop this flow. Nothing. This invisible force that I was talking about, we were just looking at your tarot cards about how like we are co-collaborators, we're co-creators alongside of some other force that is creating its own reality. This force is literally in flow with your soul, pile 2. In other words, you are fully in alignment. You're fully in alignment with you and the universe, you and the Most High. Y'all are literally creating the same life for you right here, right now. Just keep speaking it into existence and know that it's done. Honestly, it's done. So just keep doing what you're doing. King of Pentacles energy right here. And pile 2, this is all that I'm saying for you guys. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, amazing spirit for these messages. Hopefully you all come back to visit sometime soon. And until next time, please stay safe, healthy, blessed, and keep conquering the world. Bye, guys. Pile 3, welcome to your reading. So we're going to be starting off with your tarot cards, and we're just going to be getting some messages from your inner child and whatever it is that your inner child wants to illuminate about your unconscious, your shadow, anything that you may be experiencing or going through right now. And it's very uncertain. You're unsure of what's happening. You may feel a bit confused or lost or directionless at the moment. So we're going to be pulling some messages from your inner child, some healing messages from your inner child, just allowing them to completely take over your reading. So yeah, let's just get started. So the very first tarot card that we have for you, pile 3, we've got the Empress. Then we have the Six of Cups in reverse. And then we have the Tower. So pile 3, for the Empress to kick off your reading, this lets me know that you've been like remothering yourself, I guess you could call it. For some of you, your mom may have not been affectionate enough, or maybe she was too strict. But it's funny because what I'm more so picking up as the reader here is someone's mother having smothered them too much with the Six of Cups in reverse and this Tower card right here. This is like someone wanting to leave the nest and their mother keeping or discouraging them from spreading their wings and flying off. So if someone feels possibly underdeveloped because of how they were parented is what your inner child keeps alluding to for me here. Feeling like you weren't prepared for the world, or like you were set up to fail with this Tower card right here. Too sheltered, too restricted, too naive is even coming through. You may feel as though you were too naive, like the world had to kind of teach you in a really difficult way, or it had to like mature you in really difficult ways. You may have felt like you had to learn the hard way, a lot of different things. And something was just, your childhood is like, I don't know if it was too restricted or too sheltered. Again, it was just very suffocating for you because it crippled your independence in a lot of ways. So there's something, it could be like some, what is that called? Like a wallflower, kind of like a late bloomer sort of situation here, where you were like, man, I should have went through this in middle school or high school, but because my parents didn't let me date, now I'm going through my very first breakup in my late 20s, and I don't really know how to like bounce back from that or how to like get over that. And it's like, that was just an example, but it feels like something that you could be going through right now, or that you went through in the recent past, where you were just like, how did I go through this at such a late stage in life? And you may look back on it and be able to connect the dots between a very sheltered childhood that kept you from experiencing certain things. So you may remember being naturally independent as a kid and someone discouraging you from being so open-minded or adventurous or spontaneous. And I don't know why, but this Tower card is like, for example, let's say someone really wants to like study abroad and they get accepted into a program that makes that possible for them. This parental figure keeps interjecting fear, paranoia, doubt into that great opportunity with this Tower card right here by saying things like, oh, but you'll be so far from home. If something happens, we can't get to you fast enough, or you can't get back home quick enough, or, you know, you could end up in trouble or mixed up with the wrong people or end up in danger. They only focus on the doom and gloom, everything that could go wrong. And for some of you, your inner child is saying that this is where a lot of anxiety was born for you. So these moments of spontaneity or inspiration where you want to reach for excitement and change, you end up stopping yourself because that voice gets revved up. Whoever this parental figure is, it's like they cramped or hindered you so much that you don't even have to call them or get in touch with them in order to hear their voice. All you have to do is come across an opportunity or some sort of change, and boom, it's like you can just hear their voice all over again. And it's like you broke the illusion of fear. You know, like, okay, you know that when this is interesting. It's funny because you guys, my pile threes, you guys broke that illusion of fear. If you haven't already, it's something that you're in the process of doing right now. And it's like, you know that when you hear that voice of doubt, or you hear that voice from a parent figure or something, you know you're on the right track. When you feel afraid, that's how you know you should do something. And this will not resonate for everyone because your upbringing formulated your senses in this particular way. For others, when they feel fear, it's a sign to stay away. For you, it's the opposite, and you are spiritually aware of this pile three. It's like that anxious voice did take root in you somewhere with this Empress card right here, being the card of the mother. Mother means root, source, the creator. This is where something started or was born at. Someone's mother or parental figure may still live in the same place that they were born at with the Six of Cups in reverse right here, and the Tower card right here. It's like they lived in fear for a very long time, and they never really left that place. And it's this infectious paranoia or fear being transferred from person to person. Only thing is, when this voice or spirit of fear tried to transfer itself to you, there was this awareness within you at a very young age. For very many of my pile threes, at a very young age, you guys were aware that there was some sort, that this voice wasn't right. Whatever this parent or parental figure or authority figure told you, like, oh, you shouldn't do that because that's a scary thing. That's a bad thing. That's a negative thing. You knew something was wrong about what they were telling you or how they were guiding you. And so it's like there was this awareness in you at a young age that that fear is wrong. It made some of you look or seem rebellious growing up with the Six of Cups in reverse and this Tower card right here. The Tower is such a savior in your reading. Pile three, with Tower and the Empress showing up, this is also saying that you were born or created, Empress, to unroot, Six of Cups in reverse, the seed of fear, paranoia, and anxiety with the Tower card right here. You were meant to break through that. You were meant to be the disruptor of that. Some of you are very different from your entire family with the Six of Cups. They see you as the wild, crazy, uncontrollable, untamed one. They may even say that you're like unorganized, that you're all over the place. You don't have enough focus. You don't have enough direction. They may say that. Some of you guys, you may be that person in your family. And it's like every time they try to inflict a certain label or fear upon you, you break through it or power through it by doing that very thing. Like, let's just say, for example, some of your family has told you like, oh, they're the unorganized one, you know, like they sleep really late, or they're not as determined and ambitious as the rest of us. But it's like that very same thing that they judge you for is the very thing that has led you to a certain amount of success in your life. If you haven't experienced that success already, you will in the future. So let's say, for example, that your family looks down on you for being an artist because like they all go to school, you know, they all got their education or something like that. But you end up making more money than them as this artist, as somebody that just followed their heart. Like, it's just an example, but something about you being the very thing that they judged you for is what led you to a lot of success in your life. And if you haven't experienced it yet, you're meant to. This Tower is nothing but success for you, pile three. Success after success after success. It's like a whole bunch of different success stories, like a rags to riches type of story. You may have had siblings that always got like A's and B's in school or something, and you didn't. You may have been the one that didn't excel in that. You could have been the one that was getting all the A's throughout school. And then when it came point in time for you to go to university or go to college, you said, nope, I don't want to do it. I want to go off and, I don't know, play sports or become an artist or do something completely different. And they're just like, why are you deviating so much like this? Why are you destroying your own future? Somebody literally tried to tell you, don't do what you want to do because you're just going to fuck your own future up. With the Tower right here. The thing is that they were the ones that's wrong. You are a breaker of fears and curses, pile 3. These fears are curses. What our parents spoke over us, whether for good or bad, were spells. And these spells, they take root in us, which is why having children is such a sacred experience, right? It should be such a conscious thing. And unfortunately, a lot of people, they enter into parenthood or they have children unconsciously. It's our beliefs rooted and manifested in another being is what happens when someone becomes a parent, however it is that that happens. So going back to that example, pile 3, this is you studying abroad. Just because someone said to you, you shouldn't go overseas. X, Y, and Z will happen if you go over there. So you go there not just to prove them wrong, but to more so prove yourself right. You, pile 3, were born to experience so much more than what the people around you care to experience. You may have always felt called to go a different route in life. Lots of Sagittarius type of energy. Uranus, Aquarius type energy here, very independent. And this was odd to someone in your family because they couldn't figure out why those same fear tactics don't work on you. If anything, it made you more curious. It made you more determined. It made you more intentional with the Tower card right here. You were born to find, you see how intentional the Tower card is? That lightning bolt was intentional as fuck. To come through and hit and strike this building right here, that's a very intentional energy when we're dealing with the Tower, which is why it represents fate in so many ways. Fate is extremely deliberate. It's very intentional. It's very purposeful. There is a purpose for the Tower moment. There is a purpose for fate. There is a reason for certain things happening. There's a reason, pile 3. Whatever it is that you don't understand about your past, or you might not understand about whatever may be happening in your life right now, it is so purposeful, it's not even funny. Just you understanding why something is happening, that may be a little slow for you to catch up to, is to like, why is this happening again? That reason may be slow to revealing itself as to why something is happening the way that it has, or the way that it did, but it's purposeful. It was on purpose. And you were born to find your path and to find yourself outside of the parameters that someone told you to stay within, because that's the safe zone. Like, as long as you stay in this neighborhood or in this town or in this community or on this path, you'll be fine. But you were born with the sole intention of having to step very, very far outside of that territory. It's like, for example, wherever this parental figure told you, this is the type of job that you should work. This is your true job. This is the work that you were destined to do. It couldn't have been further from where you have been directed. Like, if someone said your career, like, if you want to make it in life, then this is the career that you need to be. You need to become a teacher like the rest of us. For you, your destined path was to become a student of the world, a student of life, a student of the arts. Like, it had to be different. If they said your path is to have a family, for you, your path felt closer to not procreating. If they said this was the religion for your soul, you said, well, it ain't resonating. Wherever they said go right, you just literally had to experience going left. It looked like rebellion to them, or like you were being difficult, but it was so natural for you. You couldn't help the fact that their way did not work for you. It didn't speak to you. Your inner child is saying, some of you have carried this identity with this Tower right here for too long. With the 6 of Cups in reverse, this idea that you don't fit in, that you are the different one, that you're the black sheep, that you're the wrench that gets thrown in the middle of smooth operations, that you are the pebble in the shoe. That is not true, especially because with my pile 3s living authentically, you have found other places, souls, and situations where you fit in just fine. And if you haven't, you're going to. you're going to end up coming into a space where you end up completing others and you contribute in these other spaces. It was someone's inability to allow you to find you and to create your own way that was the problem. They were your tower to you, the same way that you have been accused of being a tower to them. You're not a rebel, you're just not like them. You were independent and brave and curious enough to expand. That's what your inner child is saying here. Also, it's also saying don't give somebody the credit. It's also saying don't give someone the credit. What is this that fell? Priestess of Light. Your light shines for others. The world is your oyster. Powerful manifester. I'm going to shuffle out of that deck a little later on. But your inner child is also saying, I don't want to forget it or lose it. It's also saying don't give them the credit. Your inner child is saying someone or something didn't make you. It didn't make you. It didn't make you a rebel. You were always different. You were always going to walk a different trajectory or a different path. Your soul or your destiny chose you for a reason because you never shied away from thinking for yourself, even if that meant being ostracized and outcasted at times. Some of you just became new parents as well with this Empress card right here. And this is why a lot of this reflection may be hitting you right now, because your child is helping you see your own childhood from a different vantage point. So you may be wondering, how could my parent or parent figure have guided me in this way? It's very eye-opening for some people in my pile 3 that are parents or are just becoming new parents. It's like you may be struggling even more to understand your parents now that you have kids of your own. It's like your parents are making less and less sense to you. The older that you get, or the more life that you experience, the more that you travel, the more that you walk your own path, there's a total disintegration of an old identity here. And you may have set out on a path thinking, okay, either they're going to be right and I'm going to get hurt, or they're going to be wrong and me branching out is going to just change my life. I'm saying that no matter how something plays out, you will not regret following your own calling. You're not going to regret doing what feels right to you. It's like the one thing you would regret is letting life pass you by out of fear that anything could happen. Let's get some advice, some additional advice from your inner child. We have here full moon and Taurus, detoxify. You guys are totally detoxifying. Like I said, there's something here where your soul, your inner child is saying it wants you to kind of let go of some sort of old identity too, that like you're this black sheep or like you don't fit in. I don't know why, so just take that if it resonates as more of a personal, private sort of thing, I'm thinking. But there is a detoxification process. Like I said, yeah, I did open up your reading saying that some of you guys are like reparenting or you're remothering yourself. So this is you detoxifying from that old way that you were mothered or conditioned or taught. You're detoxifying from certain fears. There's also like a 1% here where it's like, you may have believed that even though millions of people maybe travel, they study abroad every single year, there's like this idea of like this 1% with this Tower card right here where it's like, yeah, maybe millions of people do it every single year, but you could be that one person that where this ends up happening to. That's another thing that you're detoxifying from. It's like, why is the only time that I could be exceptional is when something bad may happen to me? Why can't I also be exceptional when it comes to miracles and blessings? That's something else that you guys are detoxifying from. Let me get another card here. Okay, so we have here last quarter moon in Leo, lighten up. Yeah, this is what that detoxing process, this detox process is doing, is it's helping lighten your spirit and your energy. And then we have your full moon in Capricorn, take a reality check. Somebody around you, some sort of parent, parental figure was like delusional because they just kept talking about something that could happen. And it's like, the chances of that happening are slim to none. It was like their only reality was like doom and gloom. And then underneath the deck, exactly, full moon in Sagittarius, see the bigger picture. Were you the pile where I said you have a lot of Sagittarius energy? I don't know. You might have been. Let's get some additional messages here from your Inner child, anything that it wants to illuminate about the shadow, the unconscious, anything that you're unaware of. Let's see. So we have here back to life, resurrected relationship situation, unresolved issues, loose ends, and unfinished business. Back to life. So it's kind of like you guys are getting back to your own life. Maybe you're getting back to something that you left behind, or you may have abandoned something. It could be a relationship, it could be a project, it could be something that you really wanted to do, and you may have abandoned it for whatever reason, especially if these kind of fears and paranoia got to you. You may have abandoned it, but it's like you're sort of breathing life back into some sort of area that fears took hostage of before. Fears or doubts or some sort of like tower sort of energy may have taken hostage of that, where it was very difficult for you to follow through with something or to give something a chance. We have here drastic changes coming, destruction of the old, unpleasant surprise, wake-up call. This is that tower moment. The tower moment is an unpleasant surprise. It's a lot of destruction. It's a lot of destruction, but for you in your reading, pile 3, like I mentioned earlier, the Tower card is a savior for you because it is bringing and look at what we have in the. This is literally the Tower card of this deck. It has to be, because you see how we have this lightning striking this pyramid right here, the Great Pyramid. You see that, and then what's happening in the Tower? Lightning striking this building right here. You guys see that lightning striking the building? Same exact thing. This is a drastic change coming in for you guys that your inner child is saying you're unaware of. You don't know about this. It's coming. Underneath the deck here, we have crossroads. Crucial decision must be made. Moments of change, make or break. What was that underneath? Transformation, undergoing a dramatic change, separation from the old life, dying to the false self. So this was totally you guys just letting go of a false belief with this Tower card right here. Like I said, it's like this 1% idea of why can the only exceptional things happen to me be like the most unfortunate situations ever? Why is that the only time that I could be exceptional? You guys are breaking that. That was probably the crossroads that a lot of you guys were in. Let's get some additional messages from your inner child here. And it's a lot of cards that fell out, and they all fell face down. So I'm going to keep shuffling. Okay, we've got 2 cards that fell face up, so I'm going to show you guys these ones. So we have here breathe in, and it says our breath responds to what we are feeling and experiencing throughout our day. Practice taking deep, full breaths at a normal pace. Once you have a rhythm, breathe at this pace as you go about your day, checking in on yourself periodically. Deep breathing can help us navigate stressful events, bring relaxation and peace. So there could be some sort of stressful event happening for some of my pile 3s right now, especially with this Tower card right here. And we also have here review your responsibilities. It says there is much power in the act of releasing or taking responsibility, as some responsibilities are ours to hold and others are not. Today, review your physical, mental, and emotional responsibilities. If we hold that which we are not meant to, we can be drained. And if we deny that which we are meant to hold, we can become powerless. Yeah, this is about, like I said, you guys kind of realizing or coming to decide for yourself, like at this crossroads where it's like, no, miracles can happen to me. It doesn't just have to be only tragedy that can occur. It doesn't just have to be only the things that I don't want to happen that are possible. Let's see what's underneath the deck. You can do hard things. It says there are many things in this life that we feel we cannot or should not have to do, but we must be careful of what we place in these categories, for maturity often lies on the other side. Yeah, like I was saying, somebody kept trying to tell you, you can't do something that's really dangerous or that's really bad, or you're going to fuck your future up if you do that. And it says here, yeah, take time today to think upon the beliefs that might be holding you back. Are you putting yourself in a box by what you cannot or should not have to do? Yeah. Let me get a couple of spirit animal cards for you that your inner child may use images or the vibrations of these animals to contact you. So we have here sea serpent, and underneath the deck we have a cosmic egg. So these are spiritual animals. Not spiritual animals, but like how we have these other animals in the deck. They're either related to one of the 4 elements, either the earth, air, water, or fire elements. These 2 particular animals right here are related to the element of spirit itself. Okay, so I'm going to read sea serpent out of the book. So 1 second. Okay, so sea serpent here says, and this is an additional message from your inner child to your unconscious or your shadow self, but it says here, healing emotional wounds and expressing desires. The sea serpent represents the energy of expression, whether it's emotions, creativity, sensuality, or desire. The sea serpent helps us move and direct our energy into a healthy current. When the essence of this card is in balance, we express ourselves creatively and sexually without fear or shame. We know what we desire most. Our hearts are at ease and our relationships are meaningful and enduring. We loosen the grip of self-judgment and we let the cool waters of forgiveness in to heal our wounds. When the energy of the sea serpent is not yet activated, our emotions and creativity are left in the muddy waters. The current of expression stagnates in some areas of our lives, and in other places it floods. It's important to remember, no matter what the waters of our emotional lives look like, the sea serpent loves us just the same. Like a mother, she wraps herself around us. Mother, there's that Empress card coming through, that Empress energy. Like a mother, she wraps herself around us as a gesture of protection. She supports us as we learn to express our true natures. The sea serpent in the 2nd chakra, which is related to the sacral chakra, it says the subtle energy of the sea serpent occupies the area of the Svadhisthana, I believe, chakra. It says located deep within the pelvic bowl. This chakra is known as our center of creativity and desire and is associated with the water element. Svadhisthana, I believe, translates as in her own abode, indicating this chakra is the home of the Divine Mother or Kundalini herself. Again, with that mothering energy. Like I said, a lot of you guys are remothering yourself right now in the present moment, and this is also causing a lot of tower moments for you as well, for a lot of my pile 3s. And let's get one final healing message from your inner child. What your inner child wants to tell you about your inner journey, or your healing journey. Whatever journey that you may identify with right now. Here's just a message from your inner child that it wants to convey to you about it. So we have here, I love me as I am. Oh, and look, the glue trying to put this heart back together. And then we also have here, I embrace all sides of me. So I'm going to read I love me as I am out of the deck. And look out for any sort of dreams or images of serpents, dreams of you swimming or in the water or underwater. I love me as I am here says, I take me at this stage and love myself beyond it. Doesn't matter if it's my best or my worst. I love myself as I discover me. Yeah, like I said earlier with your Tower card right here, it's kind of like you guys just sort of threw caution to the wind and said, you know what? I'm either going to go out here and fall flat on my face and they're going to be right, and I'm going to be wrong, or it's going to be vice versa, where I go out here and I succeed and I'm so proud of myself. And that's what I'm kind of saying, especially with that Crossroads card coming out. Where is that? Yeah, underneath the deck over here. But yeah, it says here, I love myself as I discover me. You have many stages you go through in life. Some will make you smile, others will make you want to pull your hair out, but each stage is needed. You will build up parts of you, only to discover you need to tear them down again and rebuild. That's okay. Remember to show yourself love and grace, and tearing something down again, to end up rebuilding it is exactly what the process of the Tower card talks about here. But it says, yeah, that's okay. Remember to show yourself love and grace. Remembering to love yourself at all stages makes the difficult ones that much easier. So this is about loving yourself through this stage right now, whatever it may be, loving the place that you're in right now as well. Because for a lot of you guys, this Tower card has come through, this Tower moment or experience has come through to kind of like liberate or save you guys from something. It's come to really sort of break your reality in a way where you can be open to a new one or a different one. And we don't always call on the Tower. Sometimes we do. And we don't know that we need it, or we don't know that we wanted it, or we don't know that we asked for it until the moment has passed. And we find ourselves in a different place. We find ourselves in a place where we feel more whole, we feel more united, we feel safer, we feel more inspired, we feel more in alignment. And the Tower is the sort of experience where it's like we're not going to see during that moment how much of a blessing this is. It usually takes time for the Tower card to play out, for us to look at it and say, oh, this was a great thing. But this is something that you guys will end up eventually coming into and realizing that this is just a full life detox that you guys are in right now, pile 3, with full moon and Taurus detoxify coming in for you. And then we have last quarter moon and Leo lighten up. There is a detoxification process, a Tower moment coming to lighten your life, to bring more light in, to make things easier, to make things more lightweight for you, where they're not as heavy. Yes, these are very drastic changes, but what it's also going to do is help sort of like almost resurrect you guys with this back to life card right here. So there's a lot that's changing. There's a lot that's changing. It may feel like a major reality check for some of my pile 3s, but at the same time, this is a faded, drastic change for you that is destroying the old. It's destroying that old paradigm, that old reality, that old operating system for you, so you can actually adjust or shift to a brand new one. So there's a lot more abundance coming in as well, especially with this full moon and Taurus card right here. Taurus being the sign of abundance, material blessings, material prosperity and success as well. And we've got the Empress right here, who's ruled by none other than Venus, the Empress. And guess who Venus rules? Taurus. This is all about abundance trying to come in, but there was something that was in the way. It could have been fears, doubts, insecurities. There was something in the way. Like I said, it was an old spell that took root in you in a long time ago. And a lot of you are learning now that, like, when I feel afraid, that's when I need to go for it. That's when I need to go for it. Because this is how your senses have been trained after all of this conditioning. And this is why so many of my pile 3s are actually in the process of remothering yourself right now. You're in the process of learning your intuitive language. This is how you're remothering yourself. You're getting to know your own senses, your own sensibilities. You're getting to know your own intuitive spiritual language that, hey, when I feel this little feeling of fear or apprehension, that's when I'm supposed to go for something. This is that wake-up call, reality check coming in. So yeah, this is also you guys really redefining how it is that you interact with yourself and with your own intuition and with your own spiritual abilities. But pile 3, this is all that I'm seeing for you guys. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, amazing spirit for these messages. Hopefully you all come back to visit sometime soon. And until next time, please stay safe, healthy, blessed, and keep conquering the world. Bye, you guys. Pile 4, welcome to your reading. So we are going to be starting off your tarot cards to get some messages from your inner child about your shadow or your unconscious or anything that could be happening in your life right now that you're just uncertain of, you're unaware of, you don't know why something's happening, maybe you feel a little confused or lost or directionless or whatever it may be. We're going to be consulting your inner child to bring some illumination and awareness and some healing messages. So let's just get started. So the very first card that we have for you, pile 4, right? Yeah, pile 4, is we've got the 3 of Swords in reverse. We've got the 10 of Wands. And then we have the 9 of Swords. Watch out for 10s as well. 10, repeating 10s, 10, 10, maybe repeating 1s, something like that. Because I just saw it on my clock. Okay, so pile 4, we've got the 3 of Swords in reverse, 10 of Wands, and the 9 of Swords. So either you or your inner child is so over caring. Yeah, I actually think you are very in sync with your inner child right now, pile 4, and the both of you, both of these aspects of you are done with carrying opinions with this 3 of Swords right here in reverse. It could be opinions, or it could be some sort of like past experiences, past disappointments, past pains. It's done being so weighed down by words and labels. Some of my pile 4s, you're done doing shadow work, you're done healing. You're just so done, you're so over it. This is yeah, reminiscent of the rest of the piles in today's reading as well. Just really eager to put something to bed for once and for all. Really eager to put something to rest. Yeah, but something here is very done being weighed down by words and labels with this 10 of Wands, and you're aware of that. You're aware of the fact that you're tired of caring or listening to certain fears and doubts. Cool. Okay. Past that. The thing here in your reading is you keep asking, well, how do I finally make the break? How do I finally break away from them? These doubts are following me. How do I stop them? These fears are following me. These past disappointments are following me. How do I stop believing them and hearing them? How do I stop being controlled by them to a degree with this 9 of Swords over here? You are more than aware of how these words or painful experiences or beliefs or doubts have affected you. Your main focus is, how do I defeat them? How do I keep them from poisoning my mind, my dreams, my ambitions, my future, my self-talk, my self-esteem, my relationships and confidence? So this 9 of Swords for you is talking about how poisonous this 3 of Swords is over here. It could be a past situation, a past disappointment, could be doubts, could be fears, it could be self-talk. Whatever this is, it could even be a mental health state, or a state of your own mentality. But whatever this is, it's poisoning a lot with this 9 of Swords. And this is poison in the way that it leaks into other areas. So it's like your mind and thoughts, that it's like it feels outside of your control, like something else is operating your thoughts for some of you. The way that you stop these thoughts, pile 4, that feel like they're outside of your control, is by not stopping them. Trying to gain some sort of control over the types of thoughts that we think. They don't always work for everyone, especially in the beginning of reframing the subconscious mind, which some of you guys, you may have already tried to do this before with the 3 of Swords in reverse. And that may be one of the things that's kind of poisoning you in a sense, is feeling like, well, therapy last time didn't work, or last time I tried to do X, Y, and Z, that didn't work. There's something that you guys may have tried to heal before and you feel as though it didn't work. And this is why you guys are so damn exhausted. 10 of Wands and in the center of your reading, 9 of Swords to the right over here. So this is why you guys are, it's like you're at a loss. You're like, how I just need some sort of relief here. I need this to like kind of stop and leave me alone so I can live my life. And trying to gain control over the types of thoughts that we think, they don't always work for everyone the same way. You got a 9 and a 10 here, okay? And so this is talking about repetitive behavior or action with the Wands card here, and repetitive behavior or thoughts with the Swords card right here. So the subconscious is created through repetition, habit, routine. The subconscious is a program or an operating system that functions without us needing to have the total awareness over it, which is why it's considered the subconscious. It's an area where we are a little less aware. We're a little less cognizant. So there's less cognizance in that area when we're dealing with the subconscious, and even less when we're dealing with the unconscious. So stopping the program isn't always necessary. And it's not always necessary because we can just simply change it. This is the thing, the subconscious, it needs some sort of a program. That's like trying to say, how can I stop my heart from beating? Your subconscious is going to subconscious. It's going to keep cycling something through it. The point is in distinguishing the type of program that you want to be sort of like running automatically in the background. So you can do this by becoming more aware or open to the other side. Okay, so stopping negative thoughts is sometimes a losing battle. It just exhausts us or adds too much to our plate with the 10 of Wands right here, 3 of Swords in reverse, 9 of Swords. So instead of, for example, keeping yourself from thinking the negative thoughts like, oh, I'm not going to get the job after doing a job interview, instead just open yourself up to the idea that it could happen. There's a lot of logic here with 2 Swords cards coming up for you. There's a lot of logic, a lot of action as well with the 10 of Wands showing up. And Wands, it represents consciousness and motion. What happens when we project our conscious, it manifests into intentions or an agenda, which then develops into taking some sort of action, which is what we see in the Suit of Wands. The entire Suit of Wands, we see these intentions steadily developing into action, which triggers a reaction from our surrounding environment, which we end up responding to, and then it responds back. So the Suit of Wands, you see this constant action and then reaction, this back and forth tit for tat. There's a lot of payback and retribution, then some sort of a reprisal or a comeback when we are dealing with the Suit of Wands. But it goes on for so long that we end up carrying too much, so much that we can forget why we started. It's like after arguing for a long time, the 2 people in the argument may wonder, wait, hold on. What are we arguing about again? This is getting lost and not being able to make out the forest from the trees. So there's this confusing maze of agenda and action here, or like an action and then a reaction, or an action and then a counter action. It's like something happens and then there's a counter to it. So it could be, it's like you're disconnected or have forgotten your own intentions. What about you? Why do you want to do something? Why did you start something? What does something mean to you? For example, this is like setting off to prove something or someone wrong and then forgetting why it was ever important to you in the first place, or losing track of you in the process of responding to someone else. This is getting lost in those counterattacks. And so much of it is a personal struggle for many of my pile 4s. You've been fighting against maybe personal fears or doubts or insecurities, and it's like feeling an insecurity strike first, so you reciprocate by resisting it. Saying, no, I'm not scared. Like, okay, this is just an example, but it's kind of like saying, like, no, I'm not scared of singing in front of people, for example. I don't care what people think. Then you step on that stage, unsure of which side of you is going to end up dominating the other. Am I going to go on that stage and prove my insecurities wrong, or will they prove my fears right? At some point in time, one of those sides is going to win, in a sense. But then everything becomes about this back and forth struggle instead of you being focused on your love for music and singing in the first place. It's not about controlling your thoughts. This type of advice is regurgitated quite a bit, but finding your own path is liberating and peaceful, because it can explain why some techniques don't work for others. You know, like you'll hear a lot like, oh, don't think negative thoughts. When you're in a state of anxiety, okay, which is what both of your cards are talking about here, 3 of Swords in reverse, 9 of Swords. This is a state of anxiety. And then on top of that, we've got the 10 of Wands, exhaustion. When we are exhausted, okay, what happens? Those subconscious programs, they really kick into gear then, because we are too exhausted to assume some sense of control over which programs we're subscribing to and living through. It's like falling asleep at the wheel of the car. The car's just going to go where it wants to go at that point. That's what happens when we're exhausted. We literally fall asleep in living, waking life. We spoke about this on Patreon actually a little bit, with the new moon and Scorpio chart that we had back in late October, how Scorpio was really bringing illumination to the places in our life where we have been living unconsciously. Keep doing something over and over and over again. You're going to lose consciousness of it. Like driving to the store every single week. You keep doing that for long enough, over a certain period of time, your body is literally going to get used to anticipating the stop signs, the fucking intersection, the green lights, the red, like it's going to get used to expecting those things to the point where you don't even have to focus that much on where you're going. Like before you know it, you just kind of end up at the grocery store. You got a little bit of awareness because you're operating a damn vehicle, you know, you should. You're operating a damn vehicle, so you've got some awareness, but not enough to actually focus on the drive to the store because you've done it so many times. That's exactly how the subconscious and the unconscious works. We lose track of what we're doing. We lose track of our intentions. 10 of Wands. I don't know which one was the first one. Which one was the most important one? I don't know. That's what it's saying. And it's made all of this anxiety, especially because of the fact that you're exhausted. So it's very easy when people say don't think negative thoughts, but when you are in a state of exhaustion like this, those anxious programs, it's not even anxious programs. It's just a lot of different programs firing off at once, and it creates this sense of anxiety because you're aware that something else is driving your car and it's not you, and it's a little scary. It's just kind of like Jesus, take the wheel. Don't know what's going to end up happening. So while some people, they can take that advice, oh, don't listen to the negative thoughts, don't think negative thoughts. So someone can walk out on stage and ignore those doubts for 3 minutes, while someone else may feel completely possessed by those doubts and fears and unable to get through their own performance. And it's because of the wrong advice, thinking like I just have to ignore and suppress these thoughts that I don't want to think. When for you personally, it might not be about dominating and controlling which thoughts you think, but just by simply knowing that they are thoughts and that you're not your thoughts. Maybe it's by simply being open to those doubts and recognizing them, acknowledging them and saying, I'm worried I won't perform well. I'm scared I won't get the job. Yes, I am doubtful. For some, admitting the fear is the way to the other side of it, where you can go out there and sing your heart out and you're not inhibited by those fears. You're not held hostage by them. And you can open up to the optimism or the hope or the idea of putting on a really great performance. But you also don't want to overcompensate. So if this is putting a lot of pressure on you specifically, especially when it comes to performing with this 10 of Wands right here, I don't know what my pile fours do, but it seems like there's something that you do that requires you to show up in a certain way. Like, you know, for instance, you could be a parent and you don't want your kids to know that you're scared of something or concerned about something. A little bit of ringing in my left ear as well. I need to sit with those and actually figure out what they're trying to say. But I try to like just power through them. But yeah, this could be you not wanting your boss or your job to know something is going on behind closed doors because maybe you don't want to put your job in jeopardy or something like that, right? This is you trying to keep something on the sidelines. You trying to keep something at bay is feeding it and making it grow all at the same time. Admitting or acknowledging something is where you are going to get a lot of relief from this 10 of Wands, pile 4. Your inner child is saying to stop fighting something. Let's get some additional advice from your inner child. It says here, last quarter moon in Cancer, take a breather. Take a breather. Some of you guys, you may just need to actually switch up your environment. You need some other type of stimulation. With this take a breather, this almost sounds like take a day off, take a vacation, take some time, take a moment to step away from something so you can gain a different perspective is what that kind of feels like. What's underneath the deck? I want to keep shuffling those. We have here clear your mind, last quarter moon in Gemini. This is that 9 of Swords, 3 of Swords in reverse. Okay. 3 of Swords in reverse. We also have over here, forgive, full moon in Pisces, forgive. There's something that's closing out for you guys with this full moon in Pisces coming up. There's something that is closing out for you guys. And this forgiveness could be talking about your Three of Swords in reverse right here. There could be somebody from your past that you are really working to forgive. There could be a sense of anxiety or a sense of like, I'm carrying too much because you're working to forgive something or to forgive someone. It could even be an aspect of yourself you're working on forgiving. Underneath the deck here, we have full moon in Sagittarius. See the bigger picture. We're actually moving into Sagittarius season as well. So that may be very important time for you, where you guys have a lot of realizations, a lot of revelations. You guys may be working on forgiving right now. Someone else could be working on forgiving you. You could be working on forgiving yourself. Take a breather is also telling me, for some of you, something isn't as bad as it seems. It's just this exhaustion, making everything feel heavier and seem darker. Nine of Swords. Let's get some additional messages from your inner child. Okay, we have here risky choices. One will heal, the other is toxic. A choice between good and evil, danger, risk, and warning. So something, you guys may even be in the middle of some sort of a decision. And that may be why this take a breather card came out, so you guys can gain some perspective, because some of you may be really anxious about making the wrong choice, the wrong decision, with risky choices coming out here. That may be what you need a breather from, especially if you're exhausted. Making really impactful decisions while we are exhausted, oh my God. I don't think we talk enough about how like detrimental that can be, because it's like so many of us have normalized this reality of being exhausted, of not getting enough hours of sleep and still having to push through, because it's like there's so much demand on us, right? We're getting demand from our jobs or from our families or from other people in our lives, and then from even ourselves on top of all of that. So it's like there's a lot of us are making decisions while being completely depleted, whether we are depleted of energy, of esteem, of identity, whatever it may be, support. It's like we're running on zero and still trying to make choices. And that could be where the risk is at. And this may be why you guys need to take a breather, so you can see and make these choices with a well-rested mind and scope of what's happening around you. Underneath the deck, we've got freedom, power to do what you want, celebrating independence. Nothing can stop you. That's that Ten of Wands energy. Nothing can stop you, pile 4. Let's see what else we got. Finances, business and financial matters, fruits of labor paying off, financial opportunities. In order for you guys to see the opportunity somewhere, it may help to take a break from something. There could be some sort of choice coming in about your career, your business, your finances, some sort of efforts you've been putting in. Some of you guys are wondering, should I cut my losses at this one place or at this one company? Maybe I've been here for a lot of years. Maybe I've put in so much effort. Maybe I've contributed a lot, and I'm still not where I want to be. I'm still not where I need to be. I'm still not where I deserve to be. And you're trying to make that decision. Should I step away and do my own thing? Should I go to a different company, a different job, a different direction? Taking a breather from this is going to help put a lot of things into scope for you. Underneath the deck, we have futuristic, a futuristic view of the world, modern and unique ideas. You are ahead of your time. I'm going to leave this out for you. You're ahead of your time, pile 4, but you're tired somewhere. Everyone deserves rest. We need rest. We need rest. Everyone deserves it. This is what's going to keep you functioning in a way that's beneficial for you. Let me get some additional inner child messages for you, pile 4. Because a lot of what's happening in your unconscious, these are like programs that kick in because you're so tired. Okay, we have here, what does this say? Be true to who you are. It says you are your own person, but sometimes our sense of safety and self can be wrapped up in something else, which can hinder our ability to trust ourselves and our intuition, and can lead us to betray ourselves for that which we identify with. Separate yourself as you can so that you can have space to come forth. Do not be disheartened if this takes time. Separate yourself as you can. This is that take a breather right here. There's something that you guys need to step away from momentarily, that keeps kind of coming through here. Your inner child keeps saying you need to step away from something, take a breather, rest, take a break, recuperate, rebuild your resources, charge your batteries. You guys are kind of operating, you're doing something on E. Underneath the deck here, we have become aware. Yeah, like I said, those unconscious programs, they really kick in for my pile fours when you guys are super exhausted. But it says create space today to connect with your body, find a comfortable place and close your eyes, bringing your awareness to your physical form. How does it feel? What does it speak to you? Do hidden emotions reside within? After you've connected with your body, ask yourself what your body needs in this moment. So for some of you guys too, not even for some, for all of you guys in my pile fours, more meditation. More meditation becoming, whatever meditation looks like for you, because it looks different for everyone. But some sort of meditation, getting present, getting quiet with your own thoughts, with your own mind. You see how she's kind of sitting on this, what is this, like a mountain or something here by herself? That's gonna, you guys meditating is another way that you guys are gonna replenish a lot of your energy. For some of you, this is physical exhaustion. For others of you, it's spiritual exhaustion, especially with this 10 of Wands right here. You've been worn down from this mental back and forth. Like I said, this tit for tat, this like responding to everything that's happening to the point where you get lost in the woods. You get lost in the weeds of everything. And you see how she's sort of sitting to herself. Meditation is going to put you guys in a space where you are elevated from you get this bird's eye view. You can get this bird's eye view, like how she's sitting up here elevated, as well as this cheetah. Is this a cheetah? I don't know. Leopard, cheetah, whatever it is, sitting on top of like this mountain kind of too, or this hill. You guys are, with meditation, you're going to get this elevated view of things. You're going to get this futuristic view of things, where you can really zoom out and see things clearly, because it's like this exhaustion feeds this anxiety, and the anxiety greatly clouds you. It clouds a lot of your judgment with 2 swords cards right here, 3 of swords in reverse, 9 of swords upright. I'm just gonna grab a spiritual animal card here from your inner child. So we have here elk, and then underneath the deck we have elephant. I just heard to read both, so hold on. So elk here says stable, resilient, headstrong, and the father. It says the great elk represents the earth element in its masculine form. This means it provides underlying support and stability amidst life's many challenges. So there's some sort of stability that's trying to come in, but you guys need rest in some way, shape, or form. It could be mental rest, emotional rest, spiritual rest. You guys need some sort of rest from responding to everything. You guys may even just need to turn your phone off. Literally, if it's not an emergency, turn it off and don't answer it, and don't come to anybody else's rescue right now, because this is some Chiron in reverse, or not Chiron in reverse. This is Chiron in retrograde type energy. Chiron is the wounded healer. He goes out there and he tries to heal and save the world. When he goes retrograde, wherever it is that people used to go for assistance and support and some sort of care, some sort of help, it's like it closes down. It's like it closed down for renovation. We got to renovate our own spaces first, and then we can come back out here and save and heal the world and help other people. You guys kind of feel like Chiron at retrograde. Chiron, I think, is currently retrograde. I don't think it just went direct. No. Chiron is currently retrograde right now in the sign of Aries. It's been 7 years in Aries. So, and as we spoke about on Patreon, any sort of like slow moving energy or planet that is transiting a sign, it greatly changes the energy of that sign. So the fact that Chiron moves really slowly through Aries, it only moves really slowly through Aries and I believe Pisces. Every other sign, it takes around 1 to 2 years, up to 4 years to get through. But Aries and Pisces, it moves slow through. So Chiron is greatly influencing and changing the frequency of Aries energy that we're experiencing with Aries over the next few years that Chiron is transiting there. We're going to be in touch with a whole different type of Aries energy. And that's what I'm picking up with you guys, is like you're in a Chiron retrograde phase right now. You may be in a total retrograde phase where you're really needing to pour into yourself. But it says here, an elk personality, whether male or female, is fully established in themselves and knows their core values. This is what you guys are needing to get in touch with, that your inner child really wants you to get in touch with, is your own core values. It says here, they become known and respected for acting in ways that uphold those values. Sometimes the elk's ego can become inflated, but for the most part, they make damn good fathers, mothers, lovers, and friends. The world needs more elk energy. When in balance, it's supportive, kind, consistent. When out of balance, it's pretentious, high, and mighty. To bring into balance, eat and drink more consciously. More consciously. Consciousness is awareness. Eat and drink more with more awareness. And then we have here elephant. An elephant here says unstoppable, auspicious, and wise. The elephant is arguably the most auspicious figure in the deck. Like Ganesh, the elephant represents immense wisdom as well as good fortune. It is said that the great elephant is the destroyer of obstacles. So if this card appears when you feel stuck, rest assured the path will soon become clear. The path is soon becoming clear, you guys. Take a breather. So this take a breather card could even be saying that there's a breather coming into you guys' life or reality where it's like you're able to kind of step away from these energies down here with your tarot cards, 3 of Swords in reverse, 10 of Wands, 9 of Swords. But yeah, so it says here, to add to the mystery, the elephant is also known to create obstacles in order to steer us in the right direction. Trust this gentle, noble creature. It illuminates the way with the light of self-knowledge. Like I was saying to you guys earlier with your tarot cards down here, for you guys, it's not about stopping the thoughts. It's not about trying to get a hold of whatever is unpleasant for you. It's more so about acknowledging it, saying like, yeah, I am scared, I am concerned, I am this, I am that. Something about that is very liberating, and also too, it's going to help steer you in the right direction, because it says here, elephant is also known to create obstacles. Rejection, you know the saying, rejection is God's protection. So there could be certain obstacles that you guys are facing because it's the wrong direction. But taking some time to rest is going to help you differentiate which situations are right for you and which ones aren't, which obstacles are trying to lead you in a different direction, and which obstacles can simply be solved by just acknowledging them. But rest is going to help you see that and distinguish that. It says when in balance, the elephant is one-pointed focus. It's generous and loving. When out of balance, it misunderstands fate. To bring into balance, trust. Oh, that's beautiful. And then let's get one final card from your inner child here. Healing message that your inner child wants to say to my pile of 4s. What is this? We have I am not alone, but I'm going to keep shuffling because that it didn't turn over. It may apply to some of you guys. All right, now let's see. Additional messages from your inner child. We have I think and respect my body. And then underneath the deck, we have I am perfection. Okay, so with I think and respect my body, you know who isn't really kind of doing that? That would be this character, who is not really thanking and respecting his body because he has some things he has to get through first. You guys may have been drawn to another pile in this reading as well, where I talked about a sense of not being able to get out of this 10 of Wands sort of place, or not being able to get out of something that was exceptionally challenging and difficult and painful. It's like you're physically out of it, but mentally and emotionally you're still there, still operating as though you're still stuck in that same place. So you guys may have also been drawn to that pile too. I'm not going to say which one it is, just in case. If you were drawn to it, you're going to remember. If you were drawn to it and heard that pile, you're going to remember. You're going to know. But yeah, it says, I thank and respect my body. Like I said, you guys are exhausted. Your body doesn't have what it needs. A part of your being doesn't have what it needs. You see how he's in a wheelchair here? There's something here that's wounded, or you need some time to recuperate. It could even be your finances. Like you can take this as symbolic as you need to, or as metaphorical as you need to. This could even be something like your finances that needs time to recuperate before you're able to go out there and help someone else, or before you're able to go out there and make the big purchase that you need to make, before you're able to go out there and purchase a new home or make certain repairs. You know, it's like there's something here that you guys really need to it's not heal. You need to replenish. It's not necessarily healing. Okay, let me read this out of the book though. So I am perfection here says, I am absolute perfection. Yep, I said it. You are perfect. Your body, your smile, perfect. No mistakes. You are made exactly how you were meant to be. So I feel like this is your inner child answering some of my pile fours and saying nothing's wrong with you. You just need rest. You just need rest. Some of you guys, you may be so exhausted, so depleted that you're wondering, is something wrong with me? Is something wrong with my direction? Is something wrong with my choices? And so this is your inner child saying, no, you're absolutely perfect. You're perfect however it is that you're made. And it's also too, with this I am perfection card, what's coming in is that you guys are in the right place at the right time. It's just a matter of something about your exhaustion is greatly impacting your sense of reality or your perception of it. It's really warping it. And then here, I thank and respect my body is saying, have you thanked your body for all it does, carrying you around, protecting you, standing tall in times of conflict, taking care of you when you don't. Your body is the real MVP. Be gentle with yourself. Rub, touch lovingly, soothingly. You deserve it. Say, I respect myself and I honor my journey. It's been a bumpy ride, but it has shaped you. And it's interesting to me that it says, I thank and respect my body with I am perfection right here. So some of you guys, you've been struggling possibly with your body, with your self-image, maybe even with your weight, with your diet, with how you see yourself in the mirror. Some of you guys, this could be, what's it called? Is it body dysmorphia? That could even be the thing. And your inner child wants to say to you, fuck what anyone else says, including your fears and your insecurities and your doubts. You are absolutely perfection. You're perfection. You are a beautiful woman, a beautiful man, a beautiful soul, a beautiful person, a beautiful body, a beautiful being. You have a beautiful smile. And there is also this energy within you that is perfect. It is perfection itself. But something has warped the way that you see you. So for some of you as well, this 10 of Wands that you've been carrying, it's almost as though you've been carrying yourself, this idea of yourself where you maybe didn't like who you were. You didn't like how you looked. Maybe you didn't like your body. Maybe you don't like how you were born. Maybe you don't like who you were born as. This is your inner child screaming at you that you are perfect and to start seeing yourself as such. And even something with rest, more rest is also going to help you open up to that. It says be true to who you are right here. Some of you guys, in some way, you may have gotten away from whoever it is that you truly are, that you were born as. Some of you guys, you may be trying to cover up tattoos or something with the 3 of Swords in reverse right here. This could even be cosmetic surgery. Maybe you guys are just really coming to love yourself. Some of you could have just recently had a child and you're learning to love the new body that you're in. And especially if you are a new parent, and maybe you're dealing with something like postpartum, it could even be the exhaustion coming from being a new parent, maybe not having a lot of help when it comes to being a new parent, maybe not having a lot of support. And so it's like this exhaustion is really getting to you guys, to a lot of my pile 4s, and it's going to help a lot, as well as just even being able to say, I am scared, or I am insecure, or I don't like this, or I don't like that, but not in a way where you're shaming or beating up on yourself, but more so where you are acknowledging that there is this detachment or dissociation with something that you can't control. Because that's what kept coming through with your tarot cards down here, is like, it's real easy to tell people to think positively, but not all of us are made equally. Not all of our brains are made the same. They may function the same, but they're not made the same, you know, where it's like they operate differently. And so for some people, ignoring those negative thoughts is exactly what they need to do in order to reach their potential. For others, it's actually acknowledging those fears. It's acknowledging certain insecurities that's going to help them respect and thank themselves and love themselves so much more, and starting to see yourself as more whole, united, and perfect, despite whatever insecurities and doubts you may have. And so you guys, pile 4, you are in the right place at the right time. And you're going to come to realize, especially after taking some sort of breather, you're going to come to realize like, wow, I've actually always been perfect. I've been ahead of my time for a long time. And there's something that's very valuable in that, especially with the finances card coming out right here. You're really going to be able to take a bet on yourself too with this risky choices over here. You're going to be able to forgive yourself for a lot of different things, maybe even forgive some people from your past or people that are involved in your life right now with this forgiveness card and 3 of Swords in reverse. You're going to be a whole new you, and it's not because you're changing. It's not because you lost weight, gained weight, got surgery, make more money, changed your wardrobe, whatever it is on the outside. It's not because anything changes on the outside. It's more so about what you start allowing within you to shine through and to acknowledge within you. That's going to bring you to the state of seeing yourself as perfect and loving yourself in a whole new way, pile 4. And this is really what your inner child wanted to illuminate you guys to at pile 4. This is all that I'm saying. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, amazing spirit, for these messages. Hopefully you all come back to visit sometime soon. And until next time, please stay safe, healthy, blessed, and keep conquering the world. Bye, guys.